The Unplayable Podcast is proudly presented by Qantas, the official podcast partner and the official airline partner of Cricket Australia. Once again this season, Qantas is proud to be flying Australia's cricketers as they take on the world. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Unplayable Podcast brought to you by Qantas. My name is Josh Schonafinger, joined as always in the studio by Kane, Richardson. Richo, it's been another good week of cricket.
It has. It's good to be back. We're racking up the shows now. I feel like what are we on to?
Well,
I feel like I'm well and truly seasoned in this business now, so looking forward to it.
We're really hitting our groove now that the season's about to begin.
Absolutely.
So it's all going to be quality from here on out. Let's start with our weekly winners. Do you want to go first or should I take it away?
No, happy with you batting first on this one.
Okay, yep. I'm first in. Josh Philippe is my weekly winner this week. He's back into Australia's national squad for the first time in quite a while. In fact, I want to say he hasn't been around the squad since probably India 2023.
Yep.
So it's a good sign for him. He made 123 in that 4-day match against India A in Lucknow just a week or so ago. So it's a good bit of recognition for Philippe. And yeah, he's obviously a very talented batter, but he can do it with the gloves as well. So good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting. Not a like for Maxwell, is it? So they're obviously liking what they see purely bat in hand. And it comes back to that equation that we've said about the backup wicket-keeping spot with Inglis going forward at World Cups. Yeah. I know Carey's in for this series, but obviously Josh is still around the mark. So big tick for him. It actually reminded me, I remember a New Zealand tour back in COVID, I think it was 2021 when Josh was on it. And there was a day at Dunedin where we played a T20 in the afternoon and he got called a certain name, which I won't say on air, but he got called a name every single ball for 20 straight overs from the crowd. It was relentless. So he truly has thick skin for New Zealand tours. So I'm sure he's looking forward to maybe some better memories this time.
Did it affect his performance or was it water off a duck's back?
Well, it was when he was in the field. So I think it was at like deep point or deep mid wicket or something. And he took a catch. I don't know if he made any runs that day, but it was a famous game. It was like 220 versus 219.
Oh, yeah.
We needed 6 off the last ball to win. I think it was that game. So I can't remember if he made any runs, but it's implanted in my memory of how well he just copped the abuse for 120 balls.
Well, the Kiwis are notoriously a nice nation, but when it comes to cricket crowds, the stories I've heard is they can be pretty aggressive.
Well, I think it's the best tour. It's my favourite place to tour purely off field. I think it's the most amazing country, but the one thing they don't like is Big Brother coming to play in their backyard. So I know there's famous stories from Darren Lehman with the fish and stuff at Wellington, I think it was, or a toilet seat or something like that. But from my limited experience playing around the world, it's easily the most you cop.
Right.
So they definitely, whenever Australia come, whoever buys tickets, they're getting their money's worth. So good luck to the boys over there this tour.
Well, I had to listen to Stuart Broad and Josh Butler's podcast. They had Brendan McCullum as a host a couple of weeks ago. And it surprised me when McCullum said that whenever the Ashes was played, obviously, the New Zealanders were jealous that they weren't involved in such a big series. But it surprised me that McCullum said that all Kiwis go for England in the Ashes because they hate Australia. I just assumed every country hated England, but not the case. The Kiwis hate Australia more than England.
That is interesting. You'd think we would band together there with the Anzac spirit, but
not the case.
Well, there you go. Maybe we should stop being so kind to our little brothers over the ditch. But no, they definitely love having a crack at it. It's the big brother, little brother thing, as we say. And I mean that in the most respectful way. It's purely population-based and
size.
And size. That's what I mean. So there's not an inferior complex there with New Zealand. But I always, like I said, it's my favourite place to tour. It's a great place and they're a great country to play against. But, geez, they let you know about it. So, anyway, we're off track there. But great weekly winner. That's a good start.
Well done, Josh.
I've got Nepal, the cricketing minnows.
Love it.
What a story. So anyone who wouldn't be following, and to be honest, probably most people in Australia aren't at the moment, but they've played a T20 series against the West Indies in the UAE, which they took a 2-0 series win, and they played overnight and lost by 10 wickets. But that's not important because it was dead rubber. So they've really announced their arrival in international cricket, and I saw them up north in that top end series.
Oh yeah,
we played them first game, and they took a little bit to warm into that series, but they dominated the West Indies. I think they won by 90 runs in the second T20. So I know the West Indies aren't probably at their full strength, but anytime you're taking it to a test playing nation in any format is hats off. So a worthy weekly winner to the Nepalese.
Definitely. I mean, they're as passionate about their cricket as any country. I've seen some videos of the local grounds in Nepal, and
Yeah.
like the crowds go off over
Yeah.
there. Like it's a serious thing for them, and they are a growing nation in the world of cricket.
Well, they are, and their population. I know Sandeep Lamashane has played a little bit of BBL cricket, so he's kind of the poster boy. But in that top end series, they were the most well supported team out of all of them. Like
even against the Pakistan.
Yeah, they had the biggest crowd from what I saw in those games. So they are passionate about cricket. So hopefully, this kind of springboards them on to becoming more of a powerhouse. Well, not a powerhouse, but more relevant in international cricket for sure.
Great. Probably the first time that Josh Philippe and Nepal have been mentioned in the same sort of breath, but that's what the weekly win is all about. Let's get to the World Cup, which is happening in India. But just before that, I do want to correct. I stumbled over the pronunciation last week of Queensland's new young gun, Hugh Wybgen.
Wybgen.
I was calling him Weebgen, but I just had it corrected, Wybgen. So think about, who, what, why.
I before E.
Yeah.
Is it that?
I don't know why it's Wybe, but we're going to go for Wybe again, just to straighten that out for all these fans.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep him happy.
Good. Now, the World Cup got underway on Tuesday night. India defeated Sri Lanka. The two hosts went head-to-head, and, obviously a big win for India to get that kicked off. And now Australia played New Zealand on Wednesday night. So on the day of we're recording this, it's on at 7:30 p.m. on Prime Video. So by the time you're listening to this, you will know the results. You can catch all the coverage on cricket.com.au. But it's a big one for Australia. Obviously, they had the warm-up loss to England a few days ago. They threw the order around a bit, so you wouldn't say they were playing at full strength. And maybe they were just trying to give England, a bit of a leg up, considering how much it was a one-sided contest in the Ashes earlier in the year.
Well, you don't want to give too much away. From previous experience of World Cups, you definitely don't want to play all your cards in warm-up games.
Such a long tournament.
It is, yeah. And most people know everything that's going to happen when it gets serious. But like you said, I think everyone got a bit of a hit out. Soph Molyneux returned, didn't she, from her injury, and Phoebe Litchfield was in pretty good touch at the top of the order. So there's no problems there. So it's going to be a really interesting first game against New Zealand, who, as we were just talking about it, are always up and about for a game against Australia in any sport. So I know indoor as well from previous experience, high-scoring ground.
I was going to ask, yeah.
Not a very big ground at all. It's actually one of the smaller ones that you'll come across in India. So there'll be runs galore. So it's going to probably be who's going to bowl the best, be the most defensive, and who's going to take wickets will really win the game. So I know the Australians will back themselves to do just that.
And then Australia played two matches in Colombo. This World Cup is obviously spread across the two countries. Their matches there are against Sri Lanka and Pakistan. From an Australian point of view, we tend to just clump all the subcontinental countries together. But I imagine as a player, there would be a few differences between your Indian cities and your Sri Lankan cities.
Yeah, I think, especially Sri Lanka, you're getting more towards, the more similarities are with South India. So like Chennai, that kind of different turf composition. So we're getting pretty technical in it, but it tends to spin quite a lot more than
the further south you go.
So Colombo, from my experience, again, it was only a few T20s, but definitely wasn't as high scoring as when I say indoor. It's a bigger ground as well. So it's nice that they're getting a good tour in where they get to play in a heap of different conditions. And I think the beauty of that is when you're playing a World Cup in so many different places and conditions, by the end, whoever wins is a worthy winner. It's not just the same thing over and over again. So they're going to be faced with some real question marks. And I reckon those subcontinent teams will really fancy their chances against the Aussie girls in their own backyard. So again, this team has conquered basically everything. And now this is going to be another step in their path to being one of the great teams.
And as LJ said, I think when we spoke to her last week, the ability to have someone like Georgia Vol on the bench who's absolutely killing it at the minute just shows the depth of this Australian side. They've got lots of spinners to choose from. They've got plenty of pace options to choose from. It's basically all the all-rounders bowl a bit of pace. So lots of options. And I think throughout this tournament, we might see a few different structures of that 11 just based on who they're playing and where they're playing.
Absolutely. And the beauty of a World Cup is, a long World Cup is you will get an opportunity to test your bench strength, but also the best team will probably use as little bench as possible because that's
Yeah.
just the way it goes. If you've got a really good team in order and you're winning and you're playing well, then usually the best team, you look at their bench and go, how are they not playing? And that's really the strongest countries have that problem. So, like you said, there's some girls who will probably consider themselves unlucky because they'd be playing for any other country.
Now, I'm wearing my 2023 ICC Men's World Cup hat on today just to give the Aussie girls a little bit of confidence that they can
Nice.
do what the men did 2
Yep.
years ago. In that tournament, Australia's men, they peaked at the right time
Yeah.
of the tournament, which everybody talks about. You've got to play your best cricket at the business end. What does that mean in practice? How do you actually make sure that that happens?
Well, I don't know who was the famous one who said it, but they said that's how Australia's built their trophy cabinet in World Cups is peaking at the right time. And it does make sense. You look, even in like a footy sense where teams over such a long period of time, you're playing great in, round 10, but by round 20, you've run out of tickets. So I think it's that trying to get, as the plane hits the runway and it's about to take off, being ready to go. So that's what it's about. How do they do it? I don't know. It's all about just obviously banking enough points early and then really not worrying about too much other than winning by the time you get to the end and then really hitting your straps. So again, it'll probably be finding what the combination is in batting. But you said they've got so much. They've got luxury all over the playing list from top to bottom with all rounders and bowlers and spinners and the top order. So it would just be finding the right combination. There'll probably be someone who doesn't start the tournament that ends up in the team by the end because purely out of form or injury, and all of a sudden they've got to be ready to go. So, looking forward to seeing it all unfold.
Yeah, good luck to the Aussies against New Zealand. Now, another team who are playing in New Zealand are the Aussie men. They have a 3-match T20 series also beginning on Wednesday night. All 3 matches are in Mount Maunganui in the North Island of New Zealand. Glenn Maxwell is out with a fractured forearm.
Yeah.
He was hit from a Mitch Owen straight drive after bowling a ball, I suppose. Not a great way to go, but Josh Philippe has come in for him. And hopefully we see Maxwell in those white ball matches against India early in October or mid-October, but that's probably looking like a tough ask at this stage.
Yeah, that's no good for him. And it's sad because he's going to be in the World Cup. It's more as you get to, your mid-late 30s, you want to be playing as much as you can. And he's missed some cricket through some freakish kind of off-field stuff. So I'm sure he'd be as down as anyone to miss this series because he was just starting to come good in that South African series with the bat. We've known for how long how good he's been. And then with the ball as well. He's just so hard to replace. So unfortunate for him, but also probably clears some runway for that middle order that we've spoken about. It's quite congested for the Aussies with those powerhouse all-rounders. So give someone else an opportunity for 3 games and hopefully Max is back for that next series, as you said. So, it's going to be good to watch. It's a big couple of days for the trans-Tasman rivalries and it's real New Zealand flavour to these shows at the moment. But, 3 games in Mount Maunganui is also a bit of a different one. Usually it's 3 different cities and you get, again, 3 different playing venues. But, 3 games in one place. I think 2 of them are back-to-back days as well.
Yeah,
so
the third and the fourth.
That's unusual as well. I don't think I've ever played a series where you're playing 2 days in a row. Even Big Bash, I don't think we've ever done that. So
3 matches in 4 days, effectively, this series.
It's a fly in, fly out kind of series, isn't it? So, I like it. It's just short and sharp. It'll be on. I know New Zealand aren't at full strength. They've got some big names, especially in the batting department, that are missing. So, again, opportunity beckons for some young guys to make a name for themselves.
Now, this series is being marketed as a 20-year anniversary of the first men's T20 international between Australia and New Zealand. There have been some cool stuff on the Black Cap social media page about, wearing the beige and the funny hair and the afros and the mustaches and all those sorts of things. Do you have any memories of those early days of T20 international cricket?
Yeah, I remember that first one in New Zealand. Yeah, I remember thinking, how cool is this, watching it? And New Zealand really got into it, didn't they?
Yeah. Hamish Marshall and
the
hair.
and then they all had some quirky facial hair and the kit was great. Are they bringing back that kit for this series, or is
I hope so.
They should if they're making we'll see. But I remember that game. It was at Eden Park. I think Ponting turned one on, didn't he, with the bat, and maybe Michael Kasprowicz, our man from
Fulfer, I think.
Yeah, he got wickets. So I just remember thinking, how cool is this? Because you're so at that stage of my journey in cricket, it was purely red ball and Test cricket and ODIs. So it was this new cool format, which now we probably see more of than any other format, and doesn't feel the same. But yeah, I remember that. It was a good spectacle.
Now, the Sheffield Shield kicks off on Saturday, all 3 matches starting on October 4. We've got South Australia playing against Victoria at the Adelaide Oval, Queensland hosting Tassie at Allan Border Field, and Western Australia taking on New South Wales over there in the West. We've seen the Queensland squad has come out. Marnus Labuschagne and Usman Khawaja are there. They'll both be looking for plenty of runs, no doubt, to kick off their campaign. What are you sort of expecting to see early in the season, and what are you hoping to see early in the season?
Well, I wanted to see Mitch Owen opening the batting, didn't I? So that won't happen this week. But
that doesn't mean that was a wrong call.
No, well, we'll see. We will see. All to play out. I think early Shield season is always a bit of an unknown. You know, guys are coming off either a long winter indoors or playing overseas. So, guys, it's going to hit them pretty hard, especially, I don't know where, well, everyone's listening, but up in this part of the world, it's been pretty hot the last week. So, all of a sudden, you're playing a Shield game in close to 30 degrees for your first game. It's going to be tough. So, yeah, especially for the bowlers, I imagine everyone's trying to get enough work in their bodies to be ready to go for the first Shield game, but nothing gets you ready for Shield cricket other than playing a game of Shield cricket. So, yeah, I think there's going to be batters who are looking forward to the first few rounds to really fill up with runs and put their names firmly in the pecking order for the Ashes. And we talk about Marnus; he's probably the guy who will be as keen as anyone to get amongst it. So, I think everyone's going to be looking for that, aren't they? That guy to put their hand up for, or to put their name in the conversation for the Ashes. That's really going to be the biggest talking point. Jake Weatherald's going to be a big part of that for Tassie. So, yeah, it's great to see Shield cricket back. The unfortunate thing is some of the guys are missing with that the one-day games in India, which is such a funny little mark in the calendar. But most teams will put out really strong competitive teams, so it'll be a good contest to see.
Marnus Labuschagne was thrown up to open for that World Test Championship final. He was then left out for the West Indies tour. Do you still think that's a realistic possibility that he could slot into the Test 11 as opener, or is that experiment sort of done and dusted?
I don't know. I would say if he's getting back in, it's as a 3. Yeah, I would say. I think if that was purely that one game to try and get a result, I think, but now it's on Marnus to force his way back into his strongest position, I would say. So it's nice to have someone there. You know, if I don't know, something happened where there's no one else ready to go, he's there waiting in the wings. But I think for Marnus, he's definitely, if he's getting back in, it's as a number 3, and I'm sure he'll structure up that way for Queensland.
And Usman Khawaja, he's 38, he's turning 39 in December, so that's 20 odd years of pre-seasons.
Yeah.
He's going around again. What has made him such a good competitor? And like when you're bowling to Usman, you know that you've got a contest on your hands. I'm imagining.
Wow, it's amazing. Like I'm 34 and I can't even imagine getting ready to play a Shield game this week. And I know it's a bit different as a batter, but to just constantly front up. And most of the guys that play into their late 30s, the hunger to keep playing, and that's what I admire most about guys who do keep playing is you got to have some motivation and some drive to keep doing it. You can't just turn up and just play because it demands more than that. So I think the beauty of Usman is where he had that lull and dropped out of the Aussie team, but to almost come back even better.
Yeah.
And again, that's hard to do when you've, mid, early 30s. That's really hard to do. So, hopefully for him again, he's obviously going to be their first ball of the Ashes, but it'd be nice for him to go into the Ashes with some runs under his belt and just, swatting away all those, because people are going to ask the question of him purely based off his age. So it'd be nice for him to ride into the Ashes with a lot of confidence. I know he was at the AFL Grand Final in a maroon jacket.
I saw that,
So confidence, not an issue.
It wasn't his Queensland captaincy
Well,
blazer,
it looked like that, didn't it?
Yeah,
but knowing him, I doubt he would reheat that for the AFL. He would have got something custom made. So, I think he's feeling good about himself if he's rolling around in that at the AFL GF. So, hopefully some runs for Usman again this week and he can roll into a Ashes day 1.
I didn't know he was a Brisbane Lions supporter, but there you go. He was on the field. He had the scarf around his neck.
He's a fully adopted Queenslander now because obviously grown up New South Wales, he's fully turned, hasn't he? He's well and truly entrenched in Queensland. Well, he got like a Queensland honorary award like a couple of years ago. So
that seals it.
I think he's never to go back to New South Wales. So he's a proper Queenslander.
good luck to all the players playing in the Sheffield Shield this weekend. The Australian under-19s, they lost their one-day series against the India under-19s 3-0, but now they're in the middle of a 4-day match at Ian Healy Oval in Brisbane. Steve Hogan, he was the star on day one with 92 from a whopping 246 balls. It was a real grind from him, and it got his side up to 243. I was there for a little bit, Richo, and I really loved what I saw from Stephen because India, obviously, they have strength in their spin department, and inside the first session on day one, they had spin from both ends. And as soon as Hogan realised that there were spinners operating from both ends, he ripped off his helmet and called for the cap straight away. So that's a good sign as an 18-year-old that you're confident to get on the cap and take on the spinners.
He knows what he's doing. He's been planning that. So good on him. I reckon all those guys would have thought, we got a 4-dayer against India coming up. Now's our chance. We're batting in the baggy. But like you said, he backed it up with some runs, didn't he? And proper grinding. That strike rate of 37. So that's old school. We always like seeing that, especially in the 19s. So
definitely.
They'll be looking to bounce back. Like you said, it's been a tough white ball series for them. And it tends to be this way in 19s cricket. I mean, India are so strong. India, Pakistan are so strong at the 19s level. And we're speaking off air, but I reckon a lot of the Aussie guys, when you're a teenager coming through, you're playing cricket, but then you're also playing footy in the winter, or you're playing rugby, or you're playing whatever it is. You're so invested in school. So a lot of these guys are really, really part-time with their cricket.
Yeah.
And I reckon as they kind of progress through to, a rookie contract or into the state setup, it's their first chance to really be full-time professional cricketers. So, yeah, I think at the moment they're doing a really good job. But I think the most growth you see from 19s in Australia is as they progress to their, 20s, early 20s. That's when they start to really, find out who they are. So, yeah, I wouldn't read too much into the results at this age.
And maybe that's why we see more teenagers or really young players debut for India, whereas for Australia, I mean, the Sam Qantas, he's certainly an outlier in terms of debuting while you're still a teenager. And maybe that backs up your point about just not being totally ready for the top level at that age.
I think so. And I think back to my group, I think Josh Hazlewood was the standout, and he was like a man-child. Like I don't think he's grown or put on weight since the 19s. He's literally stayed exactly the same. But apart from that, the guys who were physically bigger at that age stood out, but then they got overtaken as we say, those younger guys kind of come through and hit their 20s, and all of a sudden they have that next growth and all of a sudden go to another level. So I do think that, like you said, there's outliers with Qantas and Hazlewood and Pat Cummins, physical marvel.
It's rare though, isn't it?
Yeah. But most of the time, the guys that turn out to be the best international cricketers aren't the one that dominate at their World Cup. They're probably the ones that are just, around the mark, and then all of a sudden get into a professional environment and they shoot up and they're household names. So that's always the great thing, to look at a team now and, in 5 years' time, go through it again and see what comes of this group.
Absolutely. And I spoke to their captain, Will Malachek, and he was playing waffle footy for the Colts just last year. So definitely a balancing act between all these guys who are very talented sportsmen.
Yep.
And often is the case in Australia, you're talented in more than one, so you have to make that decision. That's hopefully the under-19s can get a result in the 4-dayer. They then have another 4-dayer in Mackay to round out that series.
So that's another opportunity to wear the baggy. Mackay 4-dayer. There's going to be some long, hot sessions in the sun there. So tune in for the baggy updates.
That's right. You might not get a better chance, boys. So hook in. Now, club cricket isn't too far away from starting, Richo. So there's always these question marks that come about when teams have new players and there's new environments and all those sorts of things. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions. I'm calling this segment the Clubby Commandments about what are do's and what are don'ts. Okay. Because you've played a lot of cricket at all levels. Maybe it's been a while since you've played club cricket.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, did the top end series count?
Well, it's probably just above.
Just above?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm probably not qualified.
Okay, well, let's see how we go, because let's imagine it's round one. Okay, is this a do or a don't? Your teammate's been dismissed. Can you ask him to borrow his bat? Is that an okay thing to do or not?
Yeah, round one.
Round absolutely. One, that's okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Later in the year, though?
If you're doing it round one, you've literally got to get that bat sorted by the next week. So I'll give you grace for the winter. It's been footy season. Maybe your team won the grand final and you've been in footy mode. So you've got the first week, you can borrow one. And as you said, if they're out early, they shouldn't have any qualms with that. So they should want to knock their new bat in, someone else to do it for them. But you get 1 week only.
Okay. What about wearing the helmet of another club? Is that acceptable?
Nah, it can be the same colour.
Right.
But you can't be wearing the badge of another club.
So a bit of tape.
Elastoplast straight over. I do laugh when state players go back and they're always I think physio tape is the hottest commodity in a state player's bag because they're taping up everything.
But you can tell it's a...
Yeah, well, it's a bit of an alpha play, isn't it?
For sure.
Maybe it's worth pulling that tape off and seeing if there's actually any badge underneath or if guys are just doing it to make themselves look better. But nah, look, as long as it's the same colour, you can get away with it. But if it's completely different colour, it's a no.
Okay. What about bringing your own bowling marker? We don't have the paint and that sort of stuff at club level, but can you bring your own marker?
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay. It does happen.
There's spikes on the bottom of your feet. You just dig that turf out.
Okay.
Dig that turf. It'll grow back.
What about bringing Diet Cola for afternoon tea and no food? Just a big bottle of 2-litre fizzy stuff.
Nah, that's tough. That's hard to share. You got to bring food.
That goes a long way. 2 litres.
But if it does, what, for 11 guys or 12 guys, what
24.
are you getting a shot each? 24, exactly. No, you need to bring food.
Okay.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
People get hungry. You got to bring something. Bring some Tim Tams.
Is that your go-to?
Well, I used to. That was what I was known for. Just
Timmy's. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Mum didn't make me anything, so I had to stop at the server on the way. I'd get Tim Tams. So, yeah, just get some Timmies. That'd be a 2 for special. Bring a couple of packets of Tim Tams.
Yeah, that's good.
You'll be everyone's favourite.
That's a good call. If there's any more Clubby Commandments that we need to touch on, get in touch because there's certainly a lot of grey area in cricket land. And
would you agree with?
Oh, you can't bring cola, can you? I mean, you got to bring food.
Watermelon. Are you
go-to.
making these up, or are these?
No, well, these are things that I've experienced.
Someone used to bring Diet Coke for afternoon tea.
Yeah, and they thought that was acceptable.
Nah, that's ridiculous. Call them out. That's call them out. Send their names in. We'll call them out. You can't be doing that.
Okay, that's fair. Now, watermelon was my go-to.
Okay, yeah. No, that's good.
That's good.
Like,
that goes a long way.
Well, it's food and it's good for you and it's hydrating and it's refreshing. So watermelons, that's a pass mark.
Nice. Okay. This week on cricket.com.au, in fact, Thursday when this episode is released, we're doing an Ashes Live rewind to celebrate 50 days until the Perth Test kicks off. We're looking back at day 3 of the 2006 Perth Test. Every ball is going to be on the CA YouTube page and cricket.com.au. So you can see Adam Gilchrist's 57-ball century. Michael Clarke and Michael Hussey also got centuries on that day. So lots of action there. It's a 6 or 7 hour stream.
Ooh.
Tune in whenever you want. You can rewind it, all that sort of stuff. But one to look out for, that's the Ashes Live rewind. There'll be plenty of good stuff floating around on socials as well. That was a memorable day.
Do you think Monty Panesar will tune in? He should.
We should tag him.
Oh, he probably will watch.
To his credit, he took a few wickets.
He did.
But
that was tough.
He
the
then
Gilchrist matchup. Oh, that was tough. Tune in. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think that'll be good fun.
Absolutely. As you said, it's you can rewind or you can fast forward some bits you don't want to see if you're Monty. So what a great day that was. Just thinking back
fun.
The Gilchrist.
Yeah. And that sort of cemented Australia's Ashes because they'd lost to the last Ashes and then this one sort of cemented their path to regaining it, didn't it?
Yeah, that's when they knew they had both hands basically on the urn again, didn't they? So yeah, what a feeling that would be. And everything just went right and Gilchrist just went full Gilchrist. So and at the Wacker as well. Cricket at the Wacker was a beautiful thing, especially when the crowd was packed. So tune into that. That'll be great watching.
And he was their local boy as well, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Wow, everyone loved him, didn't they? But especially the WA crowd loved, Gilchrist, Hussey in the middle order together. Doesn't get much better.
I vividly remember where I was. I was at Grandma's place actually watching that one.
Really?
And because I didn't watch a lot of cricket there, but on that particular day we were there and I went ham. I didn't have to turn it off. Yeah.
Well, lucky chair. You should have gone back there more often. That's one of the great days of Test cricket. So shout out Grandma's place.
That's right. Let's finish with Hey Richo. We've got another question that's floated in that's caught my eye this week. It's from a long-time listener, first-time emailer called Josh M, I should say. He's got a couple of questions for you. And he's even got a suggestion for the segment name.
Nice.
He reckons Richo's Ramblings would be a good name.
Is that a bit of a backhanded?
Well, maybe.
Do I ramble?
Oh, well, you can.
I feel like you have to.
Yeah,
we're we're content creators.
We're in the space of
Yeah,
talking.
of rambling. It's true.
You'd rather over ramble than under ramble.
Yes.
His first question is, what trophies do players rate highest out of BBL, One Day Cup, Sheffield Shield?
Oh, great question. I would say the Shield still holds the mystique above all. Just pure history, grabbing that thing. I never won one, so again, this is coming from a place of unknown. But I would say
a few finals. Did you play in?
I never played a final either.
Right.
I was injured for one, and then I had a really good year. It was 2 years in a row we played Victorian Shield finals. One was home one at Glenog, which we botched. We should have won that year. I was not fit, and then the second year Alice Springs away, so we're never winning that. And I had a really good year, and I was 12th man. So that was when I knew my Shield career was done. But I'm glad
that's brutal.
I'm glad I didn't play that game because the 5-day at Traeger Park where Victoria star-studded. This is prime Victoria, and they batted for 2 days.
Yeah,
and
a draw was enough to.
Oh yeah, and I was just sat there thinking, I'm done. This is no good. So, but I would say if I was to power rank them, I would love to have won a Shield. And seeing SA last year and then WA with all their success, it just looked like something different. And then, I mean, the Big Bash is always going to be over the One Day Cup purely for the spectacle that it is. You know, you got the crowd. Yep. Like I said, the Sixers guys talk about that SCG night as one of the greatest nights. You know, the crowd, the atmosphere. So it's hard to compete for the One Day Cup. But in saying that, winning a One Day Cup still is it's one of those things, right? So guys will train all year round and they're trying to win the One Day Cup or the Shield. And really, there's probably 3 teams that win the Shield, like that you would think are going to win the Shield. The One Day Cup is open.
Yeah, that's true.
I would say for anyone. And I remember the night I didn't play, so I didn't win One Day Cup either. So I'm not qualified to answer this. But SA won when it was the tie.
The Ryobi Cup.
The Ryobi Cup. Yeah. Again, I was injured, didn't play, but I remember that night winning that. So for a state that hadn't had much success, that was one of the great, got a trophy,
Definitely,
got a One Day Cup. And the way guys celebrated, like old pros, Maxi Klinger, like guys who played a lot of cricket, they still would hold that.
They do,
with anything else that they won. So good question, but definitely Shield above all.
Okay. We had that Ryobi Cup final featured on Stories After Stumps last year. You can catch that podcast. A lot of the guys I spoke to, it's still their career highlight.
Yeah.
And they spoke about walking down the main street of Adelaide in their spikes the next morning, going to the bakery. Were you part of that?
No, I was injured, so I don't even think I was allowed to drink. But guys definitely made up for me not having one. So, but again, it was probably the circumstances of the game.
Yep.
Ricky Ponting in the opposition, like just a great game, but also a one day. Like the One Day comp is still relevant. People still value it, and ODI cricket's still alive and well. So there's always going to be competition there, and people want to win. So, but I would say just purely off the other two being such sought after trophies that unfortunately the One Day comp is third.
Okay. And just on the Shield, we know you're a big fan of Tassie this season. Question without notice, who's going to win the Shield this year?
It's hard to go past the
Sackers.
Yeah, just purely for what they did last year. I feel like they proved more so to themselves by chasing those runs down in the final. That's conquered demons. And I just think their bowling group as well, again, just seasoned. They've got so many guys to call upon that aren't going to play Test cricket or that won't play Test cricket, just purely circumstances. So I think that helps. But I think Tassie I don't know why. I've got nothing to back it up with other than just good vibes. I just have this good vibe feeling about Tassie.
So those two in the final. That could be a good final.
Yeah, I think so.
Nathan McAndrew, he's one that I'm a big fan of. But again, as you say, it's purely circumstantial. It's hard to see him get into an international side, isn't it? I mean, his numbers at domestic cricket really stack up against the best.
Well, he's been a great signing for SA since they got him. And he's just, again, like a professional now. He plays over in England for Sussex. He does really well there. But again, like with just the embarrassment of fast bowling talent in this country, unfortunately, I just don't think opportunity will back in it, especially not this summer. Maybe it will in the future. But, Brendan Doggett, Henry Thornton, Jordan Buckingham, I'm probably missing a couple.
Well, I want to mention Joel Paris as well. Yeah. He took 5 for in the One Day Cup last week. And let me just tell you his bowling averages now. In first class cricket, his bowling average is 19.5, 200 wickets.
Yep.
And in one-day cricket, his bowling average is 17.7 with 57 wickets.
I didn't know it was below 20 in white ball cricket.
Unbelievable stuff.
Incredible. Sorry, I was going through the SA quicks.
I know, but I just wanted to raise.
Just so you know, Joel doesn't play for SA for those listening. But that is worthwhile mentioning. He should have been the weekly winner.
He should have been. Yes.
That's incredible. Again, season pro. It's just amazing. Some of these guys he's played for Australia. He had an opportunity at a young age, but some of these guys put together sneaky good careers that people probably wouldn't, unless you're jumping on Cricket Info or cricket.com all the time to look at, like we are, because we're nuffies. But it is it is great to look back. Yeah, like stats. If you're looking at stats, look at some of the, like Nathan McKendry, look at his last couple of years of what he put together. And that's a guy who SA cricket kind of got from ACT or New South Wales country second 11. And he was just running around there waiting for an opportunity. So it's amazing what opportunity can do.
Now, the final question from Josh. He's actually submitted a couple, but I'm just going to condense this one. It's another food-related question, maybe based off last week. Your death row meal. You've been wrongfully accused, and now you're on death row. What would you go for?
Final meal. Yeah. Oh, great question. I need time for that, but I don't have time. So I'm going to say...
Do you want to come back to it next week?
Can I?
Well, sure.
But then what if another question comes in?
Well, we'll start with Josh's second question. And then
okay. All right. Give me a week. I'll come back to you because I like this. This deserves
a proper
analysis. I want one from you too, actually, because it's not all about me. Okay. I know it's called Richo's Ramblings, but I think we all should.
Okay. I'll make a note to do some research. Okay. I think we're done.
Perfect. Look, I feel like that was a good episode for not much, there hasn't been a whole lot of cricket, so I feel like we've done well. Good luck to the women and the men over in New Zealand.
Against the Kiwis.
Good luck to our teams and the 19s. Keep on the charge in that, and we'll see you next week.
Come on, Australia. Let's beat that little brother.